Hey, what's up everybody? We're back again with another video. This is a video by Nux Taku. The Taco. Yeah, I expected this. This is ranking every anime protagonist by power level. Okay, I find these discussion videos very interesting. The problem with ranking every anime protagonist by power level is, first off, it's very hard. Second of all, okay, listen, I like anime. I can say I'm an anime fan. I love anime people, pretty cool. There is the part of anime fandom though that they like to autistically screech every time you either miss one very minor point about their loved character or you do not agree with them. So yeah.
Someone put their foot down on the power scaling that we see on YouTube. Everyone is always arbitrarily scaling their favorite characters to be stronger than other characters. You can literally have an argument how Pikachu from Pokemon is stronger than Frieza from Dragon Ball.
True.
Because whoever came up with this versus battle is a bigger Pokemon fan than a Dragon Ball fan. So I, in my brilliant objectivity, am making the only and final factual power scaling tier list for all protagonists in anime. From this moment forward, this video will be the final end-all power scaling video that everyone should turn to whenever there's any questions or dissidents among the fandoms. So definitely share this video with literally everyone for their good, of course, not for mine, because I'm very selflessly doing this, not at all for the sake of memes, but I fight for justice. So definitely subscribe if you like
Justice.
Now, before getting into the real tricky ones, gonna have to lay down a couple of the more straightforward fighters on this list, because if I put someone in B rank, for example, you have no idea what the context of that is. So
True.
to make things simple, we're gonna put someone like Goku, who's like universal level. We'll put him in A rank, and for your typical B rank guys, I'd put someone like
Wait. If Goku is okay, listen, I don't know much about Dragon Ball Z, but I saw these motherfuckers destroying planets and shit. How is my boy A level?
Naruto, you know, Planet Buster, really powerful by the end of the series,
Okay.
but nowhere near
The fuck
Goku's
is
strength,
S
let's be
tier
honest. As
then?
well as someone like Ichigo, he gets pretty powerful throughout the final arcs of Bleach, continuously augmenting his power. That's very cool. We can also put someone like Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins in B rank, because aside from the fact that he's pretty powerful by his own right, you're forgetting that he has the ability to upgrade his power 10 times in strength whenever a new threat comes along, making him just powerful enough to stomp the enemy once or twice till the next threat comes and he's able to unlock more power. That is definitely B rank status in my book,
Okay.
so we're gonna absolutely put him there. To fill out
No
some C
problem
rank,
so far.
have someone like Deku from My Hero Academia.
He has my boy from the boxing anime. My boy does not have any powers. Why? And he has the dude from the volleyball anime. Or yeah, I think it is. Why the fuck are these people here? The poor souls.
I don't believe he's as powerful as Naruto.
Well, how can you put him in C tier? That's like one tier down from Naruto and the other motherfuckers. Come on, buddy.
While he does have the occasional crazy light speed feat like flicking air pressure into glaciers and shattering them, he also has some other moments where he doesn't completely annihilate his opponents that lowers him down a notch to somewhere around C. I would put Luffy in C rank as well, and I would put Asta there too, just because while they are all extremely fast, compare to our everyday lives, as well as much stronger, they don't compare to the Planet Busters we were talking about in B rank like Naruto. To fill out some simple D ranks, it would be humans, but slightly stronger than the humans we're talking about. You know, Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, and Edward Elric from Furumeto Alchemist Brotherhood, which by the way is
Okay.
the only correct way to pronounce that anime, and if you're not
No.
pronouncing it that way, then you are culturally appropriating very not cool. So those guys, typical D rank
No.
characters, and to fill out the E rank, let's just throw a ton of sports anime protagonists in there. You know, Hinata from Haikyuu, Ippo from Hajime no Ippo, all that normal.
Okay, listen. What's annoying me so far is usually when you do these things, right? You're supposed to put the stronger ones closer to the rank. So my boy from the boxing anime should be on the left, okay? Because he's like stronger than the dude that can throw fucking balls around. Oh boy, he hits people in the face. Okay, obviously.
Humans that can't, you know, fire cyclones of terror out of their buttholes. Now we're gonna need to get into a
He actually
slightly
put
more
all the
bit of
sports anime
complicated
dudes.
characters. Until here, it's pretty straightforward and borderline. I didn't need to freaking know anything. A 4-year-old would have been on the same page. So now we're gonna need to get into more controversial opinions, but I'm gonna lay down the facts why they belong where they belong. So, as far as an F-rank character, to give you two
is that a mosquito?
this, the first would be, well, someone who wouldn't scale up
Oh,
to
he has
fight
eyes in.
If you look at most sports anime, they're all training by, like, shattering rocks and shiz, right? So, due to basic power scaling, we can now assume that sports protagonists are more powerful than rocks. And the only way to be Superman is with rocks. Sports protagonists stronger than Superman confirmed, so we're gonna put Superman in F rank. Now, this one is also gonna be a surprise to you, because while we're talking about sports protagonists, we're gonna put Kagami from Kuroko no Basket in B rank, actually, up there with Naruto and Meliodas. Because even though you think this guy just plays basketball and jumps high, he fights against Akashi and actually manages to get stronger than him in that fight thanks to the power of friendship. Now, power of friendship itself is going to be scaled soon to put it in very quantifiable terms. But the reason why Kagami...
Yeah, if we're scaling power of friendship, why is Naruto not S tier then?
He goes all the way up to B rank.
Come on, buddy, that dude has the no talk, no jutsu. He talks and everyone listens.
Akashi essentially has the Sharingan, which is the strongest Naruto jutsu. I mean, the Sharingan, if evolved properly, can, like, make Susanos and drop meteors and shiz. That stuff is really impressive. Kagami surpasses the Sharingan, and therefore...
Okay, I see this is gonna be a very serious discussion.
Basketball player to fall into B rank definitely would slap someone like Deku, in my personal opinion, which is also a fact. And while we're in B rank,
is also a fact.
It's also important to rank Yato, you know, from Noragami. He's a god. So, being a god, I don't think he could go anywhere lower than B rank, but he can't be somewhere like A rank, because as we know, Goku is already in A rank, and he is stronger than Gods of Destruction. So you can't just put him above B based on God alone. So we're gonna have to drop him in B rank. So now, as you can see, my criteria for actually putting someone in A rank is
trash, but it's okay. It's trash, but it's okay,
extremely high. Yes. I'm not going to do any of this mumbo-jumbo, just plopping people there willy-nilly. I do know, though, that the most common argument to stronger than Goku in the anime world is Saitama. So therefore, we're going to definitely put Saitama in A rank right next to Goku, because I don't want to put my neck on the chopping block and get into that argument again. We'll just leave him there. So once we've already established this, I think it's only safe to say that the Mosquito, who was stronger than Saitama, is our first...
I see. I agree. I fully agree. The Mosquito. Listen, Saitama punches everything. Nothing has stopped the punch besides the Mosquito.
Rank candidates, so we're gonna put
too fast.
Right above Goku and Saitama. Yeah, I believe that makes a ton of sense. Now, you're probably wondering, what can possibly above someone like Goku? This guy can, like, destroy universes and whatever. But being able to destroy reality itself, and, well, the Mosquito was clearly stronger than Saitama.
True.
The Mosquito wasn't even fighting back. I think it is definitely safe to say that he transcends the A rank and is definitely deserving.
Fully agree.
So now, speaking of transcending reality, let's talk about Natsu a little bit. So I'm hesitant to say exactly what I think about.
True. Power of friendship and fairy tale. Oh god. S plus.
Natsu, because I feel like I'm gonna get people hating what I have to say both ways. I don't want to.
It's okay, bro. Fairy Tail is a trash anime anyway. No one gives a fuck.
Fairy Tail fans or the normies. I mean, the people that don't like Fairy Tail. And the issue is, I do believe that friendship in anime transcends reality. So Natsu, someone who always defeats his opponents with the power of friendship, should belong in S tier alongside the Mosquito. As I've mentioned, the thematic philosophy of the entire Mosquito arc in One Punch Man is based on what a true friend is. I legit actually made a video on that. I'm not.
Yeah, but Naruto can probably talk the Mosquito into coming to the village and becoming like a Shadow Hokage, right? With the power of the Talk Jutsu. So I don't understand why he's B tier.
I'm kidding right now. It's kind of sad, but I do love that video. Definitely feel free to check it out if you're interested, because it's not even a sarcasm video. I'm actually serious, which scares me a little bit. That was my One Punch Man phase, and I don't regret it at all. But I'm not trying to base characters on different forms. Like, for example, Goku's power comes from an inherent place.
Yo, listen, I've not watched Dragon Ball Z, but this dude has a fucked up biceps. What the fuck is that? Biceps do not look like that. What is wrong with it?
himself as strong as he is. Natsu, on the other hand, only wins fights with power of friendship, so putting him on a level playing field against these other glorious anime fighters, I don't think it's fair to include power of friendship. So, based on the feats we've seen of Natsu, I don't think it's fair to put him all the way up in S tier just because of power of friendship. Base Natsu, E tier. I mean, we haven't seen him do anything without power of friendship, because every single fight he doesn't fail to mention it. He's like, oh, I'm gonna punch you for my friends, and then the punch works. How do we know?
It's basically the Vin Diesel thing with family. For family.
If he wouldn't have punched for his friends, maybe the punch would have done nothing at all. So because of this lack of evidence, as well as the fact that I can only judge Natsu based off his base feats, I'm gonna have to leave him in E tier alongside the sports anime protagonists. And now someone else that most people would probably think goes to E tier is definitely Ash from Pokemon. I know people want to say that, oh, Ash is just, you know, a regular dude. And yes, I'm talking about base Ash, of course. I'm not talking about augmented Ash or Ash with the Infinity Stone.
What is an augmented Ash? After he came into, what was the name? No, it's not Mary. What was the fucking chick that's around him all the time?
I think both of those would be like treating Natsu with power of friendship, putting him all the way up in S tier. So
Misty?
base Ash, without any Infinity Stones or Pokemon, I think belongs in B tier.
Without
Naruto. Now hear me out. There's this Pokemon Cosmog. Now Cosmog weighs 2,000 some odd pounds. And Ash is clearly seen walking around just holding Cosmog in the anime with absolutely no issues whatsoever. Now, this man is flexing on the entire universe, carrying this 2,000-pound compressed Goliath with such ease. Honestly, having seen Naruto, I understand that we're basing every one of his powers and putting all the criteria together, but we have never seen Naruto exhibit a strength feat quite so effortlessly. If Ash can carry Cosmog with no issues
We've not seen Naruto carry 200 pounds or 2,000 pounds.
whatsoever, then honestly, if we increase his strength by a few hundredfold, which is exactly what it would need to be if he was punching with actual vigor, that's a planet buster as well. So due to absolutely factual power scaling right here, Ash is definitely planet level and belongs in B tier. But now, there's something else a lot of people
can't fight
Ash,
that.
and
That's fact.
We have him racing Greninja, and he is faster than Greninja. As we also know, Greninja is, if you've played the games, one of the fastest Pokemon of all time. In fact, Greninja has a base speed stat of 132. Now, that doesn't mean much, so I did some simple math and calculations. Garchomp has a base speed of 108, and Garchomp, as stated in the Pokedex, moves as fast as fighter jets, breaking the sonic barrier. Garchomp moves faster than sound and is substantially slower than Greninja. Ash is faster than Greninja and therefore can move far faster than sound, being a hell of a feat. So putting base Ash, I'll stress it again, base Ash in B tier is lowballing, if anything, and I don't hear any of this in the comments. I think I pretty much sealed this one. Every feat counts, and therefore this is as accurate as possible, to the point of it pretty much being a fact. And remember, facts don't care about your fetishes, and that was a quote from Gandhi. Moving on, let's talk about another character.
I mean, he
that
nukes
love,
people,
and
so I can see that.
Be surprised that he's a B, and it's Senku from Dr. Stone. Now, I
have
feel
not
like
watched
this.
this.
Incredibly important to stress upon because, again, I think
I
most
won't
people
get the
feel like
jokes.
he's weaker than the athletic sports protagonists. They don't realize exactly what this mad lad can do. I say B, not A, just because we're in the early stages of the story, and I don't really want to make assertions I'll later regret. However, this man flexes on science itself. Now, I don't care how many planets and shiz they'll kind of blow up. This absolute mad lad can create science out of nothing. This man counted 3,700 years worth of seconds while his brain was a stone. Damn it. He gets into a fight with some dude that can one-punch a lion in this very realistic science-based anime, and it does legit nothing to him because, oh, science, when the stone cracks in my face and gets dissolved, it also regenerates my brain and neck. Oh, yes, he creates science to serve his whims. Low-key, an amazing ability, if I do say so myself. And I'm going to give him B tier for now. And I repeat, for now, because this may raise in the future, and it also may drop, depending on what we see. I haven't seen enough Dr. Stone to say as a fact, but I am 10 1,000,000,000% sure that as far as what we've seen right now, this is 100% accurate. And to phrase it slightly differently, if in Furumeto the Alchemist they can manipulate science, Senku can create it. Next character we're gonna be covering is also from the Naruto world, because I only covered Naruto, who's the protagonist of OG Naruto.
Wait, who's it
The
gonna get?
character I didn't yet cover is Boruto, the protagonist of Boruto.
I've not seen it,
What a
not gonna see
goddamn
it.
legend. Now, if Naruto is B tier, and I already feel like I've proved that very well, then Boruto should be A
Very
tier
well.
because he's clearly superior. In fact, the Boruto series definitely made the Naruto series my favorite prequel of all time. As we know, obviously Boruto's gonna need to surpass Naruto clearly, or else there's no real feeling of growth. So, based on the narrative,
kinda
it's
true, I
safe to
guess.
say that Boruto will end up far stronger than his dad. But even on a base level right now, when they fought Shin Uchiha in Boruto itself, Naruto got stabbed through the stomach almost immediately, and Boruto...
Naruto that beat the mother bitch got stabbed by this corpse-looking motherfucker. What the fuck have I missed?
didn't even get injured against the same opponent. This factually makes Boruto a better fighter than his father already. Man, I love it when a great series gets an even better sequel. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to leave you with a slight intermission right here. I have to go take my cancer medication. And now,
It doesn't seem to be
little
working
known
very
other
well.
character in Naruto I would like to talk about is Kakashi. And you're probably wondering,
no, he's gone.
He's not the protagonist, but technically, if you think about it, Naruto is the protagonist of OG Naruto, and Boruto is the protagonist of
Okay.
Boruto, as sad as that is. But really, I think the protagonist of Naruto Shippuden is Kakashi. He's the only character that had an entire thematic narrative fleshed out. I made an entire video why I think that thematically he is the protagonist of Naruto Shippuden. But hey, if you don't like that, then you can just lump it, digest it, and dump it, because it's my video, and I do whatever the hell I want, and we can talk about him anyway.
True.
And mostly,
True.
I just wanted to put him in S. Right above Boruto, that's 2 above Naruto, and that's because, as I've mentioned, reality...
Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what the fuck I'm drinking, this is my breakfast. Oats, a banana, milk, ice, a little bit of honey. It's disgusting. It's actually not that bad, but I mean, it's healthy and shit. And I started training again, so.
Buster's dead in S tier, and I can't really think of anyone more perfect than Kakashi. I mean, this guy flexes on the plot all the time. Most people think Kamui can open little dimensions.
Yeah, he wasn't flexing on the plot that much when he inserted his hand into his female partner.
Holes. Nah, fam, it can open plot holes. This mad lad gets infinite chakra in the war arc. He flexes on everyone with some...
Everyone gets infinite chakra in the war arc, okay? Everybody. Even the little peons that we don't remember the name of get infinite chakra. Only person that doesn't get infinite chakra is Neji, because he's dead.
How this perfect Susanoo thing because he got
Okay.
Obito's perfect Sharingan after Obito is dead from the land of the dead. This man flexed on the plot hard, and that's a reality-busting technique. Kakashi is an S-tier character, and once we're already in the S-tier, there is someone else I wanted to mention that fits here perfectly, and that would be Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! I know you're probably thinking, yeah, I understand Yami's really good at duel monsters, but, like, are you gonna really compare him to all these other amazing characters that we've talked about that can blow up universes? Yes, I can! He's not just goddamn good at duel monsters, the mad lad is freaking good at everything. His ability isn't to win duel monsters, he wins duel monsters, dungeon dice monsters. The mad lad can jump infinitely high if he needs to. He wins every game he plays. He has the ability to automatically win. And in anime, where hard work and determination are the core attributes to give the protagonist plot holes to defeat their opponents, I mean, if you think about it, someone needs to work hard and be very virtuous for all...
By the way, why the fuck does my boy wear a chain? He looks like some BDSM little slut. Oh, Yugi, what the what was your grandpa up to with you, Yugi?
Defeat their opponents. I mean, if you think about it, someone needs to work hard and be very virtuous for All Might to happen to give him Superman's powers minus laser eyes, and then he develops 6 times the laser eyes in the manga. Or someone like Natsu, who has power of friendship, giving him near infinite power. Now, Yugi just goddamn automatically wins. He doesn't need any of these other shiz going on. The Mad Lad has the ultimate ability, so putting him in S-Class, I think, is definitely fitting for the lad. Not to mention that if you'd play a game, yes, the protagonist of the anime, this guy has the hair to win that game too. So he wins on not only a physical level within anime, but he wins on a meta level as well. Yugi, the king of games, and every game in anime ends up life and death somehow, makes Yugi definitely an S-tier character in my book. Next, Gon from Hunter x Hunter.
Oh no.
Now, a lot of people claim Hunter x Hunter in all to be slightly weaker than Naruto. In fact, I saw this big poll thing on Twitter.
We're slightly weaker? It should be a lot fucking weaker. What do you mean? Like, the general scaling is not that crazy in Hunter x Hunter. At least I don't think it is.
Phantom Troop versus the Akatsuki, and everyone was voting for the Akatsuki just because the
Of
actual
course.
power system in Naruto is just on a higher level,
Yeah.
power-wise, than Hunter x Hunter.
They throw
I mean,
nukes
you don't see
around like
anyone come
nothing.
Close to planetary feats in Hunter, and one of the strongest guys that walks around uses bungee gum, which is, by the way, made up of both the attributes of rubber and gum. Mind blown! Point is, I need to do better with the sound effects on my videos. Other point is, they're all factually wrong. That's right, Daddy Nuxanor here, gonna lay down the facts and prove why Gon is A tier. That's right, Goku level. That's right, above Naruto level. It's factually incorrect to say otherwise, and that's because the Nen power system is phenomenal. Not just phenomenally written, we know it's already the best written power system in all of anime, that's not the debate. But due to the fact that they can make conditions, and based on the minuscule conditions that they make, they can create new Nen attacks for themselves, and the more they condition themselves, the more powerful that Nen attack can become. Now, Gon became so much stronger than he was in base form just by making a condition that he was willing to bet his life on this fight against Pito, and honestly, this just goes to show the flexibility and infinite power hidden within this power system. Allow me to explain. Kurapika has this ridiculously overpowered chain power thingo, and the reason why it's so powerful is because he set it to only be usable against a member of the Phantom Troop. Now, since he limited his power to such an insane degree, it just makes it all that much stronger, even though he never actually made any conditions to put himself in danger. So, use the power of imagination, fam, and you can destroy anyone in Hunter x Hunter's power system. If Gon wanted to punch, he could A, make conditions that he will only use it on Tuesdays that happen to be the 29th day of a month, which happens to be that day. Also make a condition that it can only be used once and he will never be able to use that move again. Not a problem, he could just make up a different type of punch, no issue. Next condition, he can only use it against the opponent he's currently fighting, which is fine because he's only going to be using it once, making it just way stronger. Also, do you see what I'm saying here? You could put an infinite amount of limitations.
I am not too sure that's how it works.
Based on just your imagination alone. Kurapika only had one move that he can only use against spiders. All of his other techniques work on everybody. This is just one broken power that's so broken because he limited it to only spiders. With the power of imagination at hand, Nen becomes infinitesimally more powerful and definitely universal. I'm not saying it's more than universal to put it in S tier because I don't see it being able to destroy the reality they're in. However, when it comes to finite levels
this
of power,
fucking tier
you're only
list.
as strong as the boundless imagination you have and crazy limitations.
Just look at it.
This attack can only be used with one eye closed. This attack can only be used while I am feeling pain in my left pinky. These are crazy goddamn conditions, and you just layer them on this one attack that'll knock a planet out of the solar system. Sorry, just laying down the facts here. Next character I wanted to talk about was Soma from Shokugeki no Soma. Now, again, he's another one of those characters that I think people expected me to include in E tier with all the other sports characters and whatever, but they're wrong because they don't understand the true strength that Soma holds. Now, Soma's the main character from an anime called Food Wars. Food Wars takes place in a world very similar to ours, where they are chefs. Now, this guy's food tastes so damn good, whoever even smells it can
Gets
go
fucked.
into orgasm mode. I mean,
Yes.
total legit
Actually.
orgasms. They're clothes disappear.
They get
and
fucked.
They are in blissful ecstasy, and it's insane. Now, one thing you have to realize is he's up against all these other shonen protagonists. What's the #1 trait for shonen protagonists? That's right, never stops eating. So most of these characters would willingly eat his food, and they don't even need to smell it. But even from smelling it alone, his combinations are potent. Now, I'm not speaking from experience or anything, but if you're trying to fight mid-orgasm, you are screwed. Which is why Soma immediately has an edge here. I'm putting
So
him
he's
at
gonna
S
make
tier
them
because
come.
This is an ecstasy and a euphoria above anything else that can be realized within our very own reality.
I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that.
Not some crazy multidimensional
I
setting
don't.
like the Dragon
I
Ball
think.
universe. S tier is an understatement for this guy.
Oof,
because no matter
my
how
head
crazy,
hurts.
strong, and fast
This
Goku
just
is,
making my head
full
hurt.
of his full body,
Jesus
Akigo
Christ,
orgasms,
buddy.
The Mad Lad does not stand a chance against the prowess of Soul. And speaking of orgasms, the next protagonist I would like to talk about is your average male hentai protagonist.
Oh, no.
Can't forget these guys because I said I'm covering every anime
Those guys
protagonist
fuck.
aside from a few that you'll be able to fill in
Those
between
guys
the lines
fuck.
that I didn't mention because they're obvious.
If you
And
can't see
hentai
the eyes, you
protagonists
can
definitely need to be
definitely see
included,
the
and
ball
I'm gonna
side
drop
going in
them
your
in
asshole.
S tier real quick. If you've ever seen a hentai, I mean, I obviously didn't, so I wouldn't know. But these bastards get anything done, whether they're up against literal
By anything getting done, he means everything gets fucked.
goddesses or tentacle
Everything.
monster demon witch women
Doesn't
that have
matter.
the potential to destroy
Listen, your gender does not matter. They do not care about gender. If you have a hole, they're plugging that shit.
the entire human species. Hentai protagonists always take the W. No matter what the adversity they may face, these guys are coming out on top and on bottom sometimes on rare occasions. Their crazy
Not
broken
that rare.
arsenal of powers include mind control, and that's about it that I could list without getting demonetized. So use your imagination, or in this case, perhaps don't for your own good. I don't know. But these guys go in S tier. Hands down reality busters, no matter who in
I
their
agree with that.
verse they are up against. Victory will be theirs. Next, I wanted to talk about the protagonist of the anime Bleach. I know I already put Ichigo in B tier because, well, I needed to
He's gonna
drop
fucking
down a
talk
couple
about
shonen
Aizen, isn't he?
tags before starting, so you more or less know what I'm ranking the characters by. But Ichigo's not the protagonist of Bleach. Aizen is the protagonist of Bleach. He set up everything. I'm telling you, I was rooting for him more than I was rooting for Ichigo. Maybe that's my personal psychotic issues, but Aizen's the man. Now, a lot of people complain about his final battle against Ichigo, and I will be mentioning some slight spoilers here, so feel free to skip a little. In his final battle, despite the fact that Aizen planned Ichigo's entire life to get him as strong as he could so Aizen can slap him, Ichigo ended up slapping Aizen. Aizen had the Hokyoku, this thingo that makes his power almost limitless, listening to anything his subconscious wants and granting him that ability. Now, I did an entire psychological analysis on Aizen, which really cemented him as one of my favorite villains in anime, and that's because in his heart of hearts, he sort of wanted to lose. He's a guy who always had goals and aspirations that kept pushing him further.
Listen, Aizen's a fucking bitch. I don't give a fuck. He was a cunt. Okay, he did a lot of fucked up shit. And he deserved to get his ass spanked. And he did.
But subconsciously, he did not want to beat Ichigo at that point because there would be no further steps for him to climb. Subconsciously, he wanted to lose. Hokyoku listened to his subconscious and caused him to lose. Power scaling wise,
He's a bitch.
Ichigo. He only
He's a fucking 20 million year old god of death that guy's ass beat by a red haired 16-year-old, okay? Now tell me if that ain't a bitch, what is?
lost because his subconscious made the Hokyoku in its infinite power force him to lose the fight. So I do urge
Exactly.
you to check out my No One Understands Aizen video because I'm very proud of that one. And also, now that you understand how insanely powerful this guy is, I'm gonna have to drop him in F tier. The guy's subconscious caused him to lose. He could have been fighting me Neta and he would have lost. If his subconscious wants him to lose,
I agree with that.
and if Hokyoku taps into his subconscious, he'll lose regardless of the scenario. F tier, but still one of the best villains of all time. Now,
Nah,
I have
he
3 more
trash.
characters I would like to cover. The first is Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh,
and
shit.
I know you're probably wondering why I'm not covering a protagonist, but I am. Dio is the secret protagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In case you didn't know, every part of JoJo, and there are 8 thus far, follows a different protagonist-seeming fellow that is somehow from this JoJo JoJo bloodline, and it's a phenomenal goddamn story. So each part has a different seeming protagonist. But what if I told you that Dio was the protagonist all along? When someone asks the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime, who is the protagonist? The answer is Kono Dio-da! Because unlike the different JoJo's, which pop in and out of existence throughout the story, and the different generations that are passing, Dio's in part 1, mentioned in part 2, he's in part 3, his son is in part 5, he's in part 6, and in part 7. The mad lad's freaking everywhere, transcending space and time if he has to, spanning over hundreds of years. So, without a doubt, Dio
He got
is
clapped.
not only the protagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but also the greatest tsundere in all of anime. I am a big fan of Dio, not just because his voice actor is an absolute mad lad, not just because of the epic memes that spout from his every word, not just the fact that he decided the most useful way to kill an opponent was to throw a Roda at him. None of that. He's here because in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, occasionally a character will jump or something, and then the people in the crowd will go, "Nani, he was able to jump!" And then he'll explain to them how awesome it was that he was able to jump like that. And they'll all be surprised and ask questions on how he was actually able to do it. He'll answer those questions, and this is all before he even lands. Now, this entire conversation was able to take place within the second of airtime that he had. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure operates on a completely different scale. Sometimes you see Dio stop time, and he can do that just like he can do like literally everything else. The guy can regenerate. The guy's immortal. The guy transcends space-time. He can teleport. He can fly. He has laser eyes. He can possess other people's bodies. He can revive the dead. He has ice powers. And he also has a stand called Zawardo that can stop time for 5 seconds. But as I've mentioned, a second in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is unlike a second in our world. Because in JoJo's, there is infinite time within each second. A character could throw a punch and can have an entire conversation with his opponent before his punch even lands. And that punch was going at the speed of a bullet. That is how epic JoJo's is. And Dio, who can stop time for up to 8 seconds, where each second is in itself an eternity, clearly far surpasses everything that I've mentioned on this list thus far, easily putting him in the SS tier. Not just because SS was the Nazi party, because Dio wants none of that stuff. He's a man of culture. And also he has like 1.5 million goddamn powers. So now, the final two that I wanted to talk about briefly, I wanted to mention the one above all. Now, I understand he's not an anime character, but I need to talk about him here just to talk about the character I am about to talk. Now, the one above all is an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent being. He is the most powerful being in the Marvel multiverse and exists beyond space and time. This guy is the exact embodiment of the strongest goddamn character ever. So, I am going to be putting him in the Lord Twigo tier of this tier list, which is clearly heads and shoulders above everything else I've mentioned thus far. And the reason why I'm doing all this is because now that I've quantified just how goddamn strong the one above all is, it's time to talk about Lord Twigo himself. Lord Twigo is so powerful. His memes have transcended my channel and infected and plagued the internet as a whole. On his goddamn wiki, it talks about his awesomeness, and every clip of him on YouTube has tons of views. With the
I was like, who the fuck is Lord Twigo? Now I know. He's the guy that got decimated in the first episode. How's the 7 Deadly Sins?
Sections of all time. Lord Twigo is the character that fooled Meliodas in the first episode of the 7 Deadly Sins. And even though every character in the 7 Deadly Sins that you think dies at different points ends up coming back to life for different reasons, and they weren't actually dead. Even the characters that are like, oh, this character died 3,000 years ago, very sad. That character will come back to life. The only character who seemingly died is Lord Twigo himself, clearly lulling everyone into a false sense of security so he can observe the entire anime multiverse and control it all. Lord Twigo goes, no, not next to the
probably killed himself before the 3rd season or whatever.
Lord Twigo goes in the above Lord Twigo tier. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was all facts, no opinions, 0 memes. I hope you learned something. Definitely next time you see people trying to power scale anime characters, reference them to this goddamn video for their minds to expand. This was a very selfless task I took upon myself. Felt like it was just for the good of AniTube altogether to have someone like me here laying down the facts so people can see them. If you did enjoy this video, definitely subscribe. And even if you didn't enjoy this video, but you're like the type of guy that believes facts don't care about your fetishes, definitely subscribe as well, because facts don't care about your fetishes.
Okay. What do you guys think about this amazing tier list? I don't know what to say. It was so interesting and unique that I don't know what to say. Yeah, let me know what you all think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.